G'day, guys, and welcome once again to the Starswift Chronicles. My name is Michael from Ask a Pathfinder, and with me, of course, is the ever-awesome, ever-incredible, ever-talented crew of the Starswift. Starting, of course, with Master Guy at the helm, playing Arik Keen, which I've been getting wrong pretty much every single week. How you doing, Guy?
Hello, and thank you for finally getting the name right.
Yes, well, I mean, we make mistakes. We're GMs. We're allowed to. What are you gonna do? Of course, next to Arik Keen is his brother Elias, played by Josh.
Yo, what's up, guys?
And of course, in the bowels of the engine rooms, covered in fur and love, is of course none other than the talented Dolyug, played by Sebastian.
Hey guys! Yeah!
And the master of the skies, but not pretty much the empty voids within asteroids, is none other than Bastian Fell, played by our lovely Bon.
What's up? Hello, everyone.
And as some of you noticed, we have a new crew member today. This is Liam, but I'm not going to tell you about his character, for you will find out more about Liam in just a moment. In fact, I'm just going to maybe just banish him, and then we'll see him a bit later on. But for the time being, let us go to the Dice of Destiny to see who tells us about the circumstances in which our characters find themselves. And that is a glorious 3, which on my screen means it is none other than the captain.
The captain, my captain, oh dear. Well, last week we made some surprise discoveries about certain individuals that have maybe a shared DNA link with the captain, which didn't go down too well with Captain Keen, discovering that his brother is having relations with a certain species, which, may or may not be, the spawn of Satan. But aside from that, that discovery, we also discovered that the ship has got tentacles growing out of it, and that liquid oxygen sort of kills them to a degree, and we discovered that there's this woman who was inside the medical bay, and she escaped, and she was all mysterious, and she kind of disappeared, and then through a brilliant amount of tactical planning, the captain decided that the best thing to do was to cause the entire asteroid to collapse on top of us, because he felt that that was the best way to show just who was in charge. And so the asteroid exploded, and Dolyug, who was carrying a mostly dead goblin inside a cryotube, was on his way to the Starswift, whereas, say, our now currently missing pilot was still trapped inside the Dorver's starship, the Delamalani, which was plunging into a dark void, which had a giant-eyed, tentacled monster thing at the bottom of it. And Mr. Keen and myself, Captain Keen, find ourselves on a rocky ledge next to a giant precipice, laughing our proverbial asses off because, well, it's just funny that this is how we're going to die. Yep, this is how we're going to die. And that's pretty much, I think, where we are. Did I miss anything out? I don't think so. Maybe. If not, go and watch last week's episode, right?
That's pretty much it. All right.
There's a free-falling pilot, maybe.
Right, he's in the ship that's plunging into the dark void. But he's a pilot, right? Except the ship doesn't have any power. But maybe he can make a flight.
And he wasn't in the bridge.
And he wasn't in the...
All right. So, and that is indeed where we find ourselves at the beginning of the scenario, with the lights of the Delamalani mining ship slowly descending into the asteroid's inky abyss, as Bastian finds himself pulled up forcefully against one of the walls as the ship slides downwards. The only person who can really see this at the time is Dolyug, who is still caught in the black darkness. Even with his dark vision, he can't really see any land or anything like that. The only thing he is capable of seeing is the lights of the Delamalani as it's sinking away. So, Dolyug, what is it that you wish to do as you watch the light disappearing?
Oh god, it's been a week and I still don't know. Captain? Captain?
Yes.
Oh, he's dead. Oh, all right. Oh,
What is
hey,
it, darling? Mr. Zaguchi, yes, what?
The ship is falling.
Which ship?
The one with the bastion on it.
Well, that's all right. We ordered him to leave. Mr. Fell, have you left
okay.
the Della Milani yet?
No, I'm definitely still here, Captain. I may or may not be running towards the captain's quarters to figure out if I can get the ship to fly.
That's my stuff. I'm the one who disobeys orders, not you. I mean,
I didn't really have a chance to choose. It was either run towards the captain's quarters and try to get the ship to fly, or get this ship to slowly start crumbling around me and not find the exit fast enough.
Is there anything we can do to help you?
How much do you weigh?
I weigh around average, whatever the height of about a 5'10" person would be, whatever that would be.
Okay.
What do you weigh?
We're getting real personal right now while I'm dying, okay?
All right.
I'm gonna fly towards him.
All right. Okay, you begin to fly towards him. He has already made a fair bit of distance, and thankfully, because of the low gravity in the area, the fall is slow, but not as a little bit slower than your little drone is carrying you. So you will be able to catch up to the ship. Meanwhile, on the other side of this ravine, Elias and Arik, both of you are alone on a ledge, having climbed up and just narrowly avoided a plunge to your deaths. There is a tunnel and cavern system leading outwards. You're not entirely sure where it leads, but wherever it does, you're fairly certain you don't want to be standing in this area. The ground seems unstable, and there's still rocks and things falling from above you.
I'm going to pick up a rock, help out my brother. Come on. And I'm going to start walking towards the tunnels. And as we get to the other side, I'm going to just precariously throw a rock at the ledge we were standing on. See if it, falls away.
It is not. The rock sort of hits the ground and rolls a little.
All right, let's see if we can get back to the Starswift. I hope Mr. Fella's all right.
Get some jets and some climbing equipment. Maybe go down there and get him.
All right. Meanwhile, aboard the ship, you've managed to pull yourself off the wall, and you're kind of disoriented, but thankfully the gravity dampeners are still active, and you're able to sort of move normal orientation after the initial jolt. You are, however, still falling. So, Bastian, last we left you, I believe you were down the corridor near where the captain's quarters were, just slightly away from the bridge of the Della Milani.
That is correct. I had just gotten to the doors of the captain's quarters.
Yep.
So I'm gonna try and get in.
All right. You basically go up and you open the captain's quarters. You realize that it's actually been locked from the outside. There appears to be an officer code involved. If you wish to, you may make a computing check to attempt to hack through the ship system and open the door.
That one. Nah, one.
Nah. Gonna keep our traditions.
Does he remember we have a code?
we do have a code.
Okay.
I was there with him for that, but for computing, I got a 19.
19? Well, yep, you sort of start hacking and you're like, click, and I'm like, damn it, I have this code. All right, never mind. As the door opens, inside you see something truly horrific. You see a person matching the description of Captain Bailar Della Rossi. He, however, seems to have exploded. His insides basically stretched outwards, and his body plastered to the wall with these these tendrils sort of keeping the torso attached to the wall. These kind of clear, slithery, slimy tendrils. Now, it almost looks like his body was unraveled and stretched into these thin strands. His arms, his head still remaining relatively intact, but like sort of seemingly lifelessly hanging from this mess on the back of his wall. The room itself, apart from that, looks actually very prim and proper. There's a little study desk with like some books and some like sort of like what do you call it, a computer workstation for him to be able to work on. You can see also a small locker that is built into the side of the room here with several doors, obviously different things.
Yeah. First thing I'll do is I'll send a telepathic message and see if I can talk to him. And the only thing I say is, "Are you alive?"
You hear a voice. Hello. Who is this?
You're talking to... My name is Bastion.
Are you the ones who have just arrived?
I mean, if you didn't notice the fact I wasn't here before, I think that'd be a bigger problem.
I saw you. I saw you on my ship. Why are you here?
We're here for people and the ship.
These people are mine. And you and your friends will be too. At this point, Bastion, could you make me a perception check, please?
Okay.
Bastion's gonna become a worm zombie.
It's gonna happen real fast. It's
No
gonna
one's
be...
here to rip him out.
I know, I'm so scared this time. It's gonna be a 14.
A 14. All right. With a 14, you do not notice as this tendril slides in through the captain's quarters behind you. And while you're reaching out psychically towards the corpse of the previous captain, it basically coils around and takes the form of almost like this serpentine, this translucent snake kind of thing, getting ready to bite into the base of your neck. But as this does so, you hear another sound as a robotic organism emerges from the corridor and immediately acts hostilely towards the encroaching serpent. Liam, welcome. How you doing?
Hello.
Save me!
All right. So with your particular character, would you describe Cal for us?
You see a mainly robotic form, mostly skeletal, clad. The only real distinguishing feature is he has a kind of silicone, almost human face stretched along his head. So majorly he is robotic, but he does have a little bit going on over there.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello,
and as Cal sees this serpent, he has already analyzed it. So could you please make me a life science check, please?
Can do.
You can make
Nat
life
one.
sciences checks.
A nat
Oh, no.
1. Now bear in mind, nat 1s are not auto failures on skills, so I'll still need your actual score.
I have a +8, so that's a 9.
A 9. Good. With a 9, you've been here long enough and you have been exposed to these things long enough to realize exactly what this is. This is called a mind thread phase spider. The mind thread phase spider is a very unique organism that is incredibly rare. Phase spiders exist in two realms, basically a astral plane that lurks on the edge of reality, as well as your existing reality. It uses tethers from these webs in order to try and create anchors and pull itself into existence, so it can usually do things like lay its young. These threads are incredibly invasive. They do not immediately kill the host, but once a host is dead, as the fate of your captain, the bodies are then recycled and turned into more thread, which then spread it out and allow it to exist in a wider area, so on and so forth, until it can exist in some relative comfort in this realm. You, as part of your programming, have been given the previous order of ensuring that those aboard the Della Milani remain safe and active. However, having failed this mission, you have been in stasis, awaiting further instruction. When the Della Milani was activated by other members of the Starswift, you also were activated and have begun your search to find the source of these new life signs. And this is the scene that unfolds before you.
Okay. Calmly stating, Cal steps forward. Hello, my name is Cal. I will now be assisting you in this matter. Pleasant day.
Bastian, you turn around and see this serpent looking at you in the face. Let's roll a very quick initiative. I don't feel like this isn't going to last long, but, just between the three of you. So Cal and Bastian.
It's going to be 17.
Got 21.
All right, Cal, you get to act first. As the serpent sort of hisses.
You want to help me, please?
I will equip my azimuth laser pistol and fire.
All right, make your attack as you draw forth your pistol and attack the creature.
I got an 18.
18 will absolutely hit. All right, roll your damage.
I do 1d4 fire damage.
Mm-hmm.
I quickly pull out and fire a shot with very little recoil being... but there's no recoil because it's a laser weapon, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Just fire.
Yep.
Aiming for one of its mandibles, like its legs.
On a snake.
On a snake? Mandible. Yeah, brain. Never mind. I was aiming for one of its legs.
Life science, everybody.
Yep, life science. Natural one, everyone. All right.
Optical sensors
All right,
appear
what
to
was
be malfunctioning.
All right, what was the damage?
4 damage.
4 damage. Oh,
Nice.
well, yep, large chunks basically get ripped out of it as it recoils backwards. Bastian.
Out of reaction, I do shooting stars. So you pretty much just see out of nowhere asteroids appear and just hit this snake thing.
A bit excessive.
I'm scared right now, and the ship is falling. I'm a little terrified. And then I forgot how to even add a text right now. So it's gonna be plus. It's gonna be a 15 to hit.
That will absolutely hit as your meteors strike the creature.
And it's gonna be 1d8 damage, and that's gonna be for 4 damage.
Yep, it is riddled with holes. It falls to the ground and falls apart into more of those strands. And you're out of initiative.
All right. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't catch. What are you? Who are you?
My designation is Cal, learning computer. Pleasure to meet you.
Okay, Cal. Ship's falling right now, and would you happen to know where the book is to control the ship?
Kind of briefly stares at you, and then stares kind of like a 1,000-yard stare into the distance, processing information.
As you do so, you recall that the captain had a penchant for the dramatic. He had a bottle of scotch that he always kept just in case of emergencies. If he were to ever die, the bottle of scotch has a very unique label that says, if you are reading this, then you will definitely require more than my code.
I believe I can be of assistance in this matter. Please follow me.
Stepping over to one of the lockers, he opens it and reveals the whiskey bottle, or the Scotch
Kind
bottle.
of just holds it out, static, unmoving. The item you requested. Here you go.
Okay. I take the bottle. I look inside. Is there anything else there?
You look as you pick up the bottle. You realize on the bottom of the bottle, in like a little divot that they use for those kind of bottles, is what appears to be a key card, a tiny key card.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's go to the bridge. Okay. Let's just go take this thing. We'll be fine. I just need to put this somewhere so we can get out, and then you're gonna follow me, and we're gonna figure something out.
All right.
He kind of tilts his head. Oh, he kind of just tilts his head. Do all your kind speak this way?
Let's say in moments of emergency, yes. But right now, let's get out of the ship, or let's get this thing out of here so we can just go somewhere else, just anywhere else right now. I just need you to follow me. Just follow me, and we're good to go.
All right.
I will follow.
All right. The two of you begin to make your way to the bridge swiftly and promptly. Doliog, you land on the exterior of the Della Milani as your little jetpack or your little drone just sort of, and you land. You can see up ahead the ground is coming up very, very quickly.
Taxi service! Val, get on here!
Dahlia, just give us 1 second. I think we're gonna get to the bridge and save this. Where
I'll
are
give
you?
you a second, but the ground isn't.
Yeah. No, I'm running as fast as I can. If you wanna, where are you exactly?
I'm outside the ship waiting for you.
Okay. All right. Grab a hold of any piece of metal that is clearly nice and strongly on there, and we might be able to fly this somewhere safer and maybe salvage a little bit more than we got last time.
Oh, okay. And then I come over to the captain. Captain Val's dead. And then I fly a little bit away from the ship.
Mr. Zaguta, what do you mean fella's dead?
He's impacting with the ground as we speak. And he would not, I believe he has some suicidal tendencies. He does not grab his hand out for the rescue that was coming for him.
You say Mr. Fella's dead. You've seen him being destroyed.
Well, you can make a prediction on what's going to happen pretty soon.
What is it, Elias? What's happening? I'm kind of busy right now.
He doesn't respond.
I
He's
thought
not
you were
dead.
What are you still doing on that ship? I gave you an order to evacuate the ship, Mr. Fell. Daliag says you're going to die.
I found another passenger, and I found the captain. I can figure out what's going wrong with this ship, and I want answers. All right?
Hit faintly in the background. Hello, my name is Cal.
Cal, just give me a second. I'll introduce you in a little bit. This whole...
All right.
And then I'm going to float a little bit away from the ship, just far, just a bit to...
Well, no. You
watch.
just stop chasing the ship as
Yeah.
as it sort of... All right. Okay. Meanwhile, hearing this very alarming message as you're walking through the passageway, Elias and Eric, what do you guys stop? Do you guys turn back?
I think we'd be running. Because we don't know where we're going. Well, we have the heads-up display from the Starswift as to where she is. So we're trying to get to her, I think, as best we can.
Okay.
You know why Bash didn't leave? He didn't share our keen sense of danger. Listen, I'm terrified, and this is how I cope.
Loser level.
No, I see.
Okay, so as you begin to sprint your way through the corridors and the the tunnels, you come to what appears to be this very strange kind of divot, I suppose. There's like this tiny little 5 foot, let's say, little slice that seems to be missing, and a boulder appears to be connecting this corridor with the next one. But the strange thing about this boulder is it seems to be covered in thick black tendrils, like, unlike the
Were they white before, Mr. Keene?
Yes, they were white, in fact.
but it seems to be entirely residing around this ball, and you can kind of see these like sort of it almost looks like the roof is being supported by like these big struts that seem to just be rising up from underneath the ground here.
I take my light and I check to see if the ground's covered with that sticky crap.
It is not. It's completely clear of this sticky crap.
Is there a way that we could jump over the boulder through those supporting struts and get to the other side?
It would be a pretty epic jump. I mean, it is within the realm of possibility, but not a very likely possibility.
I wish Mr. Fell would here. He'd know what to do with these sort of weird creatures.
Yeah. Oh, right. So what ways does it seem to look to get around? Do you think we're gonna have to climb it? We're gonna have to climb it. You think? That's gonna be. What do you think, brother?
The black tendrils worry me.
They worry me too.
They don't seem as animate as the white ones did.
Right. I pick up a rock and sort of chuck it onto the sphere thing to see if there's a reaction.
Roll a perception check.
Nat 20.
A natural 2.
Natural 2 doesn't seem to notice anything. A natural 20, as you sort of throw the as he throws the rock, it seems to disappear into the black tendrily kind of things. It just as soon as it sort of hits it, it sort of goes in and then continues to go in and then it's gone.
All right, so that rock just straight up disappeared.
What do you mean disappeared? I didn't see that. I may have...
That is the inherent part of the disappearing, isn't it?
It was absorbed, you mean?
And I went in and then didn't go out. It's not like it stuck to it or something.
I don't like the sound of it. Did you see any other tunnels that we missed? Can we go around?
Yes, there is another pathway you can take. However, it does follow a different route to the Starswift.
I think that's a better route to take.
Yes, Captain. And I'll stick up my leg, turn, and then start moving.
All right. So roll a survival check as you begin to circumnavigate the dark corridors and tunnels.
You really are not equipped for this.
I'm good at skills. I don't know what you're
good,
talking
you
about.
Good at survival? Oh yeah, you are. You are. Oh, natural 18. All right.
All right.
All right.
Survival. No, sorry, that's the one I'm
that
not.
one.
But I did get a 17 on dice, which makes this my survival a 17.
17. Okay, cool. All right. So you begin to make your way. You begin to make your way around. As you do so, you come to a large open chamber, and you sort of run along the edge of the cliff. There's a very thin ledge that you must balance across to continue pressing forward. It's kind of one of those, back against the wall, sidestepping type dealies. You'll need to make an athletics check to get through here.
Alrighty, I'll stay close to my brother.
Yeah.
Athletics, you say? Can it be acrobatics?
Yes, and acrobatics will also suffice.
Awesome, 12.
Thank God. 13.
13. 12 and 13, you sort of begin to slowly start shimmying your way across. As you do so, however, please make me a reflex save. As you see this huge, heavy piece of machinery just collapse from the platform above and just inches away from you, runs past your head.
18.
18?
8.
8.
This dice does not like me.
It does not. All right, so as Elias, in response, Elias leans back against the wall, whereas Arik kind of reflexively tries to sort of push whatever it is away from him, but by doing so, puts so much weight forward he begins to topple. Elias, you can make another reflex save to try and catch Eric.
Alright,
Meanwhile, Eric, you can make a climb check. Oh, sorry, an athletics check to try and quickly catch onto the ledge before you slip
What
off.
can I use a hero point for, just by the way? Because I really don't want to die in this fashion. It's really, really not a
Okay. All right, a hero point can be used in 3 particular ways. The first way is you can re-roll a d20. The second way is after you've rolled a result, you can add 4 to the result. Or if you haven't yet rolled, you can add 8 to the result.
I'm going to add 8. I'm going to add 8 straight away because my athletics is +0. So.
Okay, so you have a +8 to your roll.
Oh wow! All right, so 27 because the dice knows.
Yep. So as you slip over and you grab onto the ledge, and Elias sort of grabs your hand and says, "Long live the king!" And no, that's not what he does.
I'm the captain now.
All right, Elias, what do you do?
Yeah, I grab onto him. Hold on. You'd think with all that decorum, you wouldn't have been born with 2 left feet.
You were always the more dexterous one, I say as I climb up onto the ledge.
I click a button on my wrist machine, and that repeats that same sound.
Forever recorded.
Yep. All right. As you go to press the button, you realize that you're still holding him aloft, and he slips a little, falling back down.
Okay. All right. Jokes later.
As you pull him back up. Now, the bit of machinery that fell down, you sort of realize it looks to be possibly one of the landing gears of the Della Milani having flown past you. Turning your attention upwards, you see a very bright light as it slowly begins its descent to your location as the Della Milani is rapidly approaching. Meanwhile, aboard the Della Milani, heading fast and quickly towards the bridge, Bastian and Cal have arrived, looking at the approaching darkness. Now, the ship itself has lights on the front, which seem to still be penetrating the darkness, but there is no floor that you can kind of see from the front port, but you can see that you are running alongside what appears to be this very sheer cliff face, which for you, you're kind of like, well, this is dangerous at any given point because we could just slide into the wall and then just start tumbling, which is even more dangerous than just your free fall.
All right. Cal, I'm going to try and start getting this thing running. And can you somehow... What is your specialty? What are you really good at?
I am a bit of an all-rounder. I was designed specifically to handle multiple tasks, so if you require something mechanical or some kind of medical assistance, I can provide that too. I am, after all, a learning machine. I could
all right
assist
then.
in
God,
starting
I'm
the
terrified.
Okay. Regular computer. I forgot your name. What's your name again, buddy?
No, you'll never remember it anyway. What do you want?
Right. I got the code, and where do I put this in? Wait, Cal, where do I put this in?
I just take it from your hand and insert it where it's supposed to be.
Yep, goes to the captain's seat and just sort of sticks it into the slot. All of a sudden, a hologram of Captain Del Rossi appears. If you're receiving this message, then I am likely dead, or there has been some kind of mutiny. If it is a mutiny, then please look in your side panel, and there is a gun. Shoot yourself. If, however, this is not a mutiny and I have indeed died, then it falls to you to carry on the Della Milani's mission. You now have access codes, which will be signified to your voice. You would need to repeat the words Sigma 764, Delta Rossi, authorization code 9. Doing so...
I say so.
Damn it. Say the whole thing. No. All right. As you do so, the code is now keyed to you, and he says, "Congratulations, Captain. The ship and the crew are yours to command." And disappears.
Okay, ship. Can you just get us up and out from this chasm? Or do I need to fly us out?
If you want the autopilot to do it, I can surely try. Give me a moment.
He's a dwarf. You're kidding? Take over.
During all of this chaos, Tal is just going to turn to Bastion and say, "Hello, new captain. What may I designate you as?"
It's a big toss.
You can call me Bastion.
Scanning facial structure.
Oh,
Hello,
jeez.
Captain Bastion.
By the anuses of 1,000 rust monsters, who let him out?
Do you not get along? This really isn't a time to ask this question, but why do you not like each other? What is, as you're running these diagnostics?
I have met toasters with more personality.
I mean, he seems...
Registering insult.
Pressing issues.
We're gonna work on that. I think me and you, your face is scaring me. I can't look at you right now. I'm not used to this.
All right. The ship suddenly passes in front of Arik and Elias as you place your arms to the side. You basically just see these wafting metal panels flinging past you. Now it's not going so fast that you can't. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could make a check to try and jump onto and grab the ship. I mean, not saying you would, but it's not moving so fast that it's like hitting a bug on a windshield. You know, you're not going that quick.
Come on, Captain.
Stabilize the ship so we can get on board, Mr. Fell, and well done for taking command of the vessel. Mr. Daliag, your prediction, I'm afraid, was wrong. I'm very glad that it was wrong.
He says this, and as he does, Bastion, out the front of the ship, you can now see the ground covered in stalagmites that seem to be jutting up towards the bridge.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Let's just halt or get away. What do we need to do? Well, what is the actual thing I need to do though? Do I need to
a piloting check?
Okay. All right. Solid.
What's the handling on a mountain?
I can assist with this if there is indeed a co-pilot seat.
There is a navigation seat, which is very easy.
Okay. I will assist.
Okay.
Then I just sold.
So make a piloting check as well.
24.
All right, that'll give you a +2 on your piloting check.
All right. I definitely needed your help because all I got was a 18.
Well, with a 20, as the ship gets closer and closer, the speed and inertia begin to kick up as you get closer to the center of the asteroid where the gravity is the strongest. As it continues to push up, you get just about a couple of meters away from the stalagmites, and the ship suddenly just stops. It's a spaceship. It doesn't need to slow down. It's just.
This is why I don't like anything that's around land. This makes no sense, and this is why ships are amazing, and planets are terrible, and asteroids make no sense. Cal?
Well, that was eventful.
All right.
He's not exactly wrong. The greatest danger to ships is usually ground.
All right.
Speed is paranoia.
Elias and Arik, you can see Daliag slowly hovering down after the ship.
Hello.
Captain, everything's under control. And also, I'm gonna patch in our new friend, Cal? Cal? Say hi, Cal.
Hello, my designation is Cal. Pleasure to meet you.
Did you just make that voice up, and is that like an actual person?
That's definitely not me. I don't have time for this. Is not a thing right now. I don't know why we're doing this.
I like
By
how
designation, it means you're an android.
Yes, that is true. And Captain Bastion is my new master.
Captain Bastion.
I
see.
We'll explain that later.
Oh, you're in for it now, Bass. He's going to shoot you and murder you.
I didn't take over his ship.
That. I just
Everyone
forgot
who's not.
that I would not like another.
That was a joke there, Carl. You know.
Joke. Registering.
Oh
Okay.
Right. Mr. Fell, Captain Fell, would you please pick us up? And Mr. Daliag, I would like a full diagnostic on this ship. If you've got it flying, I think that's good, but I'm still nervous about bringing it back to the fleet. Yes?
Captain, you remember that little goblin dude?
Yes. Trax, the traitorous coward who abandoned his crew.
But the one that's on the list, you know, that one? He might have. Captain, I would like to check if he survived.
Where did you leave him? I thought he was in the infirmary.
See, the thing is, I was going to take him back to the Starswift, and then...
Oh,
Did he
dear Lord.
Did he die? Did Dolly? Did Jax die?
Maybe?
Cal, this is a question for you. Do you think I'd be able to track his module that he was in?
The stasis pod?
Yeah, his stasis pod.
Probably not. It was an independent system. Yeah.
Dahlia, I would not worry too much about it. I wouldn't blame yourself for that. Don't think that. You were doing the right thing to get back to the Windswift and to take him with you. I think you made a good call there. He
was
probably
inside a pod. He could live, maybe.
Yes. Let him drift for a couple thousand years and contemplate what his actions caused. Ultimately, he was the one who abandoned ship. We have a few other problems, a little bit more pressing, I think. The ship, Mr. Fell, are you certain it has none of these creatures on board?
Yeah, I found something. I'm feeling better now. This is so nice being on a ship. I found the captain and what took over the captain. I don't exactly know what it is.
I begin to key in and kind of explain the intricacies of these psionic spider creatures.
Then please do so.
Yes, it appears that these creatures exist from a psychic plane of sorts. I do not have much information on this plane, but I do know that in order to lay their young, they must explode from, well, an egg sac in the form of my old captain. Suffice it to say, they are here for breeding purposes. In a different world by the looks of it.
That would explain the egg sac I found in the technology wing.
Well, to a degree, yes. All right. You say your designation is CAL?
Cal. CHAL.
I see. All right. Linguistics aside, Mr. Cal, you seem to know a great deal about these creatures. Is there any way that we can extricate it from the Della Milani ship itself? You say it's part of the captain now, or it's consumed the captain? Is it on? It contained?
It had laid its eggs inside of the captain, and now the captain is, well, indisposed.
Yeah, I saw something.
Sorry, I'm gonna correct this ever so slightly.
Is it? Did I make a mistake?
No, that's fine. Basically what it does is it emerges from an egg, and then what it does is it tries to make an area that it can exist in with these psionic webs. The psionic webs allow its form to stabilize in an area. It uses the corpses of people to create the psionic web. So it's not necessarily the eggs more than it is the webs, after which it absolutely lays its eggs and continues to spread, etc. But if it tried to lay its eggs without the webs inlay, the webs would be disjointed between the two realities.
Okay. Needs some kind of force to bind it. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. I go back to my previous question. Is it still on board the Della Milani?
Yes,
it's too. The creature itself is too big to be on board the Della Milani.
So what we killed was its young.
Or it's the threads.
The thread. You killed
the thread itself.
Yeah.
Oh, they killed the thread itself. Okay.
Are Okay,
It appears
apparently.
the creature is too large to be on the Delamanari, which means that we are going to have a problem on our hands when we do find it.
I'm not convinced that that's the correct assumption there, Cal. All right, Mr. Fell, can you pick us all up, please? And then I suppose... Yes, all right. I suppose we don't have much of a choice. Mr. Keene and I will continue to the Starswift, and we'll take command of the Starswift. Mr. Fell, you are indeed the captain of the Delamanani. Congratulations. Well, I do question the nature of your companion. Mr. Dolyag, Mr. Zagutu, I should say, I am uncertain as to whether we need you on the Starswift or whether we need you on the Delamanani. Where would you prefer to be?
Actually, at this point, you hear a voice coming through the communication span. It appears to be the voice of the Delamalani. Captain Phil, I thought I'd want to let you know that the destabilization of the rock and the broken landing gear has made it all but impossible to do anything but hover in this one chamber. We're cut off, as it were, and unless there's another major slide which will clear up a path, this is going to be where the ship stays, sir.
Okay. Thank you for informing me, computer.
Wait, did you just say thank you?
Yes?
I don't like it. And he...
Suspicion.
Yeah, immediate suspicion. I'm sorry that you don't like it.
you feel yeah. Well, part of dwarven culture is they're not a very grateful people, and they don't take compliments very well.
Oh, you know what? I've dealt with a few dwarves. I get it. I just. All right, we'll move on. Is there? How much red lithelium do you have on the ship currently?
Currently, there is 15 units of red lithelium.
All right.
Just for comparative sake, one unit is about a day's worth of fuel for a middle class ship. So the Starswift is a small class vessel. Something like the capital ships is a colossal class. So it's somewhere between the two, like in terms of size.
That's
a lot of fuel. That is hey Captain, do you want to bring that along with us when you take it to the Swift, or?
If I'm right, we don't have a lot of time before the fleet jumps again, so to try and salvage the Delamalani, I think, becomes an impossible task. Trying to cut through the asteroid to make a path for it is virtually impossible, I would imagine, at this point in time, without extensive mining work. All right, so we are abandoning the Delamalani. Is that what you're suggesting, Mr. Fell?
We don't have very much of a choice. There's no landing gear, and the movement around this giant rock has made it practically impossible for this thing to move out of this spot unless something else happens to clear up some space.
All right. Let me... Embeth, can you read me?
There is static.
Static.
We're too deep in the asteroid.
Must be. All right. Okay, well, I suppose our only option then is to return to the Starswift. I think taking that fuel on board makes sense. We can never have too much fuel, I suppose. I'm not too keen on this red lithelium. Of course, I'm sure Mr. Zagutu will enjoy exploring it and its properties and the safety of a newly refurbished workspace once we get this contract done. In that case, then I think, Mr. Fell, your best option is to try and keep the ship stable until we can get back to the Windswift. We'll try and bring her here and transfer the cargo as best we can.
If I may make a suggestion, I could stay behind and pilot the Lemilani, thus solving the issue of leaving it behind. It seems like a valuable ship. And after all, since Captain Bastion is currently piloting it, I'm sure he wouldn't want to lose it.
I was under the
Cal.
impression that the vessel can't leave the chamber it's in.
It can't leave this space, Cal. We're gonna have to go to a new ship.
No, I think what he's suggesting is that if you want to head to the Starswift and see if there's a way to free the Della Milani from the chamber, from the Starswift, which has guns and weapons and things like that.
It is possible you won't have to lose the ship.
Yeah. Whereas if you try to land it, well, if you try to basically not pilot it, it'll plummet into the.
Yeah.
I see. All right. Well, in that case, then I think it's a good suggestion, Mr. Cal. I hope that you.
Mr. Cal, really? Why don't you just call him Cal?
It seems he doesn't. There's no sex to him. He's an android.
I open up a private channel to Elias. The toast makes no difference what I call him. I could call him CHAL for all it matters to him. He's got no emotion, just a droid, right? I could call him Mr. Sticky, and it wouldn't really make a difference, would it?
Well, it wouldn't be his name, but I just look at you.
At the same time, I have a comm to Dollyug, and all I say to Dolly is, buddy, we got some new fuel to play with. We got some new fuel to play with. Don't be too excited, though. Just don't show it in front of them. We don't want this taken away from us. Okay, let's go back to 1. Okay, going back to 1.
All right, then let's enact that plan, gentlemen. Everyone return to the Starswift as fast as you possibly can so we can get this show on the road.
Very well. You
I'm
gather
gonna
up.
take my sweet time and meander to the bottom where I dropped tracks.
You while you head to the bottom, as everyone is getting to disembark and leave you behind, you can see the bottom is riddled with stalactites, and it's basically just a huge mess. Roll a perception check as you begin to search for what happened to poor Trax.
Perception, that would be a 18.
An 18? Okay. With an 18, you do not find any signs of the capsule.
I float back. Wait a second. Can I look around? So I got a visual data processor thing. Can I look around for a heat signature?
There is no heat signature.
Okay. Yeah.
He was pretty dead.
Sad float to the.
Okay. All right.
I lost my knife fighting buddy.
All right. Okay. You begin to follow the way plotted out, but you notice that being this deep, the augmented reality seems to be flickering in and out as you try to follow the path back to the Starswift. Cal, from the bridge, you can actually act as a navigation computer, using the ship's scanners to be able to plot them a course back up to where they were. If you make me a computing check, I can get that working.
19.
19? Excellent. All right. With a 19, you basically begin to plot the course as Arik, Elias, Bastian, and Dollyug begin to ascend up towards where they had previously left off. Now, the journey upwards takes the better part of an hour with the large navigations through some very crumbling stonework, and you see bits of these like sort of writhing white tentacles, but they seem to be kind of limp and inactive. Eventually, you come up to a chamber that you believe was where they were digging the blood lithelium previously. You can tell this by the machinery and things that seem to be left behind, most of which is inactive. You notice one thing in peculiar. So one thing in particular that is rather peculiar is there are teeth marks in the generator that was supposed to power this sector.
Watch out for that electrovore.
Is there more? There's more of them?
Well, there was a big one that we avoided.
Oh, still
Yeah.
3. Okay.
Yes. It was significantly bigger than the other ones. It was colossal. Let's move cautiously and quickly.
Okay, good.
It's amazing.
All right, could everyone roll me a stealth check, please? Cal, could I have a computer sciences check, computer check for me, please?
Sure thing.
27.
17.
Also got a
Yes.
27.
Nice. All right. Cal, I'm going to send you a couple of secretive little messages via the chat. As for the rest of you, with a 27 and
Got a 1.
1, ooh. Sorry, what did you get, Doliag?
I got a 1, natural 1.
Okay.
And I don't have any modifier. So.
Or your clown shoes.
All right, well, that's not bad.
All right, it's just that his android or his little hover cart makes like that Jetson sound constantly.
All right, so roll a perception check from everyone, please, as your stealth checks have gone
Mr.
awry.
Doliag, do you not understand? God.
I killed him!
No, you did not kill him. All right, we'll talk about this.
22.
16.
17.
Do you need me to make this perception check as well?
No, you're fine.
Okay.
Yep, okay. Those of you who got over 20, notice that in the dark there appears to be a set of eyes that seem to be blinking, watching you. It seems to be just a pair of eyes. As you kind of take a closer look, you see the silhouette of a human hanging like a piñata from the ceiling with the tendril in the back of its neck. It blinks at you as it watches you.
I raise my gun and I take aim. And I point. Everyone, we're being watched.
Does it look like it's coming towards us?
No, but it probably is connected to the hive mind. Want me to shoot the tether?
Oh, wait. So,
No,
how far is this thing? GM. How far is this object?
It's about 30 foot.
Okay. I have like dark vision. With dark vision, what do I see? Now that I know where this creature is.
You see what appears to be one of the miners. That seems to be hanging from the ceiling. It does, as Elias mentioned, seem to be watching you intently. And as you sort of get into, well, you're all in its line of sight. You see kind of like the vine sort of trying to keep it as still as possible. It's trying to stealth, basically.
Oh. It's one of the miners. It's not doing anything to us.
Let's just leave it and move on.
Okay. All right,
Doliag, he did not kill the goblin. He killed himself.
Just I turn around and shoot at the thing.
Oh.
All right, make your attack.
That'd be a 19. Yeah.
All right, with a 19. With a 19, yeah, you shoot it, and a giant hole appears in its chest. Wriggling worms of white sort of flow down its chest. As it does so, could I get everyone? Everyone basically starts to feel this rumbling and this, this sort of terrible shaking.
Run!
Running.
Roll initiative, please.
5.
8.
15.
16.
One
But I'm going to
second.
wait for everybody else to leave first before I move.
I did a little self-check to see if I would, maintain my composure. Got a
Yeah.
1.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, Elias,
15.
15. Auric,
16.
16. Doliag,
5.
5. Bastian,
8.
8. Cal,
Sorry, what was the check?
initiative.
Ah, okay, I got it. 10.
10. Okay, cool. All right, as you begin to run and the trembling gets closer, as one of the tunnels that is behind you seems to crash open as this large object seems to be pushing its way through the rock. You watch as this tiny arcing like insectoid leg scratches and scrapes the rock, pulling what appears to be this large bulbous round head covered in black fur out of the cavern. It has 10 eyes that all appear to be human in appearance. Like they're quite large, but they've got like the kind of sclera, pupil, iris kind of look to it. Its nose appears to be cut slits into its upper lip, and a grin across its massive face almost cuts the whole creature in half. And inside, razor-sharp teeth as it turns and sees you. You hear from the voice of the miner, who's still bleeding out from the hole that Dahlia put in him. I see you.
Run.
Sprinting down the corridor as you do so, you place your way through as this huge thing basically starts barreling after you. Everyone is running and bolting and sprinting. You turn around a corner, and as you do, you can see corridors of this white fleshy tendrils reaching up. As you sort of get through, you realize that unlike before, they're longer and stickier, and you find it difficult to wade through. As you do, Doliak accidentally swings his drone into the side of the wall and places himself stuck onto the side. Bastian, quickly running over and grabbing hold, pulls and tugs and tries to get him out, but Doliak, in his hubris, accidentally forgot to fix the security belt on his drone, eventually cutting it loose and becoming free. Elias, with his track and field experience, leading the charge into the dark corridors with his flashlight waving like a madman in front of everyone. While Auric fires behind him, shooting at whatever the hell seems to be coming out at him. They burst forth from this long network of tunnels, exhausted and what's the word?
Aspirated.
Masturbated.
Yes, exacerbated.
Masturbated.
Sure, why not? They find themselves confronted with another large predatorial creature, the huge Electrovore, which is destroying the newest generator that leans up to that point. With very careful skill and precision, you all make your way around the corridor. By the way, guys, if you're wondering why I'm taking such firm control of this initiative, go back and watch episode 1 and you'll see the full details on what happened here. As they manage to duck and weave and dodge and avoid the large Electrovore, they slide into a new corridor following Elias's lead, as Elias is following the augmented reality that system that is now attached to the Starswift. I forgot one important thing. As you guys were running along, you obviously heard a voice coming from a very familiar goblin. Bloody run! As the goblin runs now alongside you, as he is like basically frantically trying to get ahead and activate your ship, which Arik has very promptly shut him out of. As the group veers around, left, right, up, over, under, duck, move, dodge. All of a sudden, Elias turns around a corner and comes to a dead end.
It's a dead end!
The creature encroaching upon you. You hear
Why are we moving?
You hear the sound of a snap coming from deeper within the corridor, and the lights of the Electrovore that were glowing fade to nothing in an instant as this large, spindly, spidery-looking creature continues to pursue you. All right, top of initiative. Arik, you're looking down the corridor where the creature has been chasing you. It has slowed down in order to deal with the Mother Electrovore, but it is definitely not too far behind.
I continue running. I don't know that the corridor has come to a dead end, so I'm literally just running behind. How far away is the Starswift from us now?
The Starswift isn't actually that far. Just on the other side of this wall is a very short 200 feet to the Starswift from where you are.
All right. Well, I'm just going to come running down that line, I suppose.
All right. You come running down the line. You find yourself at the dead end. Elias is there, like looking disillusioned by the fact that there's a dead end.
Embeth, it's a dead end. Is there any other way that we can get out of this corridor?
Yes, Captain. If you were to destroy the wall and make your way through it, you might be able to approach a corridor that will lead you directly to the ship. I believe that the blockage is purely from the destabilization of the asteroid and not solid
yes,
rock.
I get it. It's my fault that the corridors sailed off. Great, that's wonderful. Does anyone have explosives with them?
I take out my knife. I pry open the guard on my pistol and exposing the battery, just like shove it into the rock and run away.
Okay.
Okay, you have a glowing battery. There is now a slight radiation leak coming from the rubble.
Oh, no, shoot it! How does mechanics work?
Well, this is why you're not a mechanic. All right. Cal, we'll come back to you. I've got a thing for that. And I've sent you a message about all that sort of stuff, so make sure you read that. Bastian.
I am going to shoot the now battery that's stuck in there to see what happens.
It explodes. That's how this works.
Okay.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
It explodes, right?
Shoot it.
That's the hope.
Okay, go ahead. I mean, I would say that, like today's technology, if I were to shoot a battery, it wouldn't explode, but yeah, why not? Let's do it.
If you overcharge certain cell phones, their batteries catch on fire and explode.
They do. You're right.
It's a
It's only been
super
one
cell phone.
generation
Got
since
it.
it's happened.
Right.
All right. So what do we get?
16.
Yep, with that, there is a pop and an explosion as some of the rubble is broken loose, but not enough of it to break through the barricade. There is a loud echoing sound, which seems to attract the attention of the creature as it makes its way towards you. You can hear it scraping and scratching.
Mr. Zagutu, blow that wall up. Anytime now,
God.
Mr. Zagutu.
Anything you got. Anything you got.
Captain, give me your pistol.
I hand him my pistol. All right, now what?
And I'm gonna try and blow up the pistol. And
All right. Okay, you attempt to overload the pistol. Please make me an engineering check. I thought you were about to go, okay, see here? Now I'm gonna... No, you're gonna walk out there. You're gonna walk out there, and you're gonna get eaten.
That would be a 16.
A 16? Okay, with a 16, you overload the charge. It explodes, and the rubble begins to fall away. As it does, there's only a small bit left for you to be able to break through.
Good job.
All of a sudden, towards the end, you see the tendrils begin to make their way into line of sight around the corner that you've just taken. The head sort of peering in like it's a child peeking into a dollhouse. As it sort of looks at you and smiles, it reaches forward with its tendril. And you see the one general spike for its leg splits into 3 nasty, vicious-looking hooks. as it reaches to try and scrape you out of this tunnel. When suddenly the wall falls away from behind you, and you see Cal on the other side with one of the drill pieces.
Good job, Cal.
You should hurry. This creature is incredibly aggressive.
Yeah, let's do that. You're amazing. Okay.
Go!
All right, you rush through. Can I get everyone to make me a reflex save as they barrel through the tiny opening that has been created?
Oh, no.
I'm making sure that I'm leaving this space last, just by the way, making sure everyone else is out first.
Okay, so let's do this in order then. Who's going first?
I will, because I'm smallest.
Out of the way! Out of the way! All right.
That would be a 13.
All right, Dollywug with a 13. Yep, you sort of tumble and roll, and you manage to get your way out without any problems. Next up.
And I wait for Trax outside the other end.
Oh, yeah, well, Trax will go next. Trax agrees. Out of the way! Women and goblins first! as the goblin jumps out and goes, where the bloody hell are you? No, it doesn't matter. Let's go. Get out of here.
12.
12? All right, with a 12, you also tumble through without any problems. The hands scratching and scraping, trying to figure out where you are. Next up.
I'll go next. I'm gonna go with 21.
Oh, yeah, no, you just straight through, like you acrobatically flip through the hole, leaving, I believe, only
Get me into a ship.
Reflex, right?
Mm-hmm.
13.
With a 13, you also make it as the hands scratch and can't seem to find you. They're fumbling around, but as you kind of move, you see the head peer back around again. And start trying to clear out some space for it to crawl through. You all begin your 200 feet run to the Starswift. You hear the hum of the ship as you have asked it to prepare for launch. But as you are about to approach, there is a blockade of 12 of these zombified creatures, and they all in unison say, "Did you think you could escape? Nothing will escape the tangling webs. You
shoot them."
Captain, I'm afraid I can't do that, Captain.
Damn it. Jesus. Again, floating rock, full of fuel, all of the fuel. This is nothing but a giant fuel. This is
Actually, that's a good point. Are we in a cavernous space?
No, you're in, well, yes and no. You're in a cavernous space for a person. You're not in a cavernous space for a spaceship. So
if we jumped, say, sideways off the sort of walkway,
mm-hmm.
we'd be in free fall, right? Well, would we fall, or is there enough gravity to cause us to go down?
Think of it like the moon. You could make a fair bit of distance if you were to do that. By kicking yourself off a platform or a launching point, you would be able to, well, in theory, clear the
miners.
The miners.
All right, then that's what we're gonna have to do.
All right.
I think there's now two of us that don't have weapons.
I have a knife.
Oh, I will point out that they are all wielding like mining tools. They don't have like
actual weapons.
Yeah,
okay.
They don't have any actual weapons. So
Yeah.
So you guys are at an advantage in that.
Can I tell any inherent weaknesses about them? Like, are they like ocularly linked? Do they all have the same sight?
They have a power cord on the base of their neck.
Yeah, they're basically all connected to the one hive mind. They're not really creatures anymore. They're all kind of extensions of the spider.
Terrible
I'm assuming we
sentence.
probably
Why
couldn't
did you
blind
say
it.
Jump
right.
over them. Open the doors.
Embeth opens the doors under Eric's command. It is Eric's turn.
All right, I'm just going to leap over them, try and show my crew how it's done.
All right, either an athletics or an acrobatics check.
Yeah, you guys are going to come and save me right now.
You better.
And a natural one. I cannot believe it.
All right.
I hate you. I hate you.
This is amazing.
All right.
These dice are cursed.
Okay. All right. As he
The best. Wait. The best part of this, real quick, though, is the fact that you are following the same as the first episode.
Very true. 6, 10, 11, 12. All right. So, well, in a true fashion, you prop yourself up against a large piece of the wall, and you launch yourself, and you very heroically cry out to the group to follow you in suit. As the low gravity seems to take you, however, you realize that you haven't made enough thrust to get across, and instead land smack dead center as two of them basically sort of reach up and pull you down. Like, so
that is a common complaint. Not enough thrust. Right.
As they sort of pull you down into the mosh of them. Now that was only a move action, so you still actually have a standard or an attack action.
The only choice I have now is to. We're on a ledge, right?
Yes. On the left-hand side of you is more of a plummet down into the
I'm just
asteroid.
going to push one that way.
Okay. All right. Make an athletics check, please, as you attempt to shove him off that way.
17. See, new dice, better roll.
Yeah.
Automatically better.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you basically just shoulder rush one of these zombies, it sort of falls off the edge, and I'm going to be a little bit mean here. I know I shouldn't, but I am. As it sort of falls off the edge, it literally doesn't seem to fall, but swing.
That's
Now it's hanging off the ceiling. It's not next to you anymore, but he's not falling. He's just sort of hanging there above, and
just hanging out, huh?
just hanging out.
If you were alive, you would have broken his neck again.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Then we go to Elias.
All right. Could I? So I want to try to see if I can rule cool it. Is my brother in the middle of these things?
Yes.
Okay, so what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to kind of like make a jump off the side wall so that I kind of turn over around, grab him by his shoulders, and then I can put my feet on top of one of their shoulders and then yank him out of the center of them and jump over to the other side. Because I think I'm the only one with the skills to do that.
You know what? That
possible.
is sure. Let's give this a go. So but I'm gonna make this a 3-part check.
Yeah.
And it will take your full action to do so. So the first one is you need to make me an athletics or an acrobatics check to make the exact distance you need to get to Eric.
Acrobatics will be 16.
All right. Without any problem, you jump over to where Eric is. You've also orientated yourself to basically do a handstand on his shoulders. Okay. Now what you need to do is you need to make a athletics check.
Okay.
In order to basically crunch yourself and stand on one of the shoulders of the zombies.
All right. So this is the hard one, boys. All right. I'm gonna use my hero point to re-roll that. I'm really glad I did. That's a 19.
All right.
Because that was a 6. Because I got that one.
All right. So as you flip yourself forward, you're now standing upright. And Eric, by the way, what do you say as you are suddenly hoisted aloft?
Get to the ship!
All right. Now you have 2 choices here. Either A, you can hang on to him and try to keep moving, or B, you could throw Eric forward.
No, I'm awesome. I'm going to hang on to him and keep moving.
Okay. You will need to make me another athletics check.
All right. 28.
Okay.
89 dice.
Yeah.
I rolled below 10 for
Okay,
all of those until I
With
got
the
back.
28, you basically push over and you basically finish the rest of the way. Congratulations.
That is how the Keens won that Toverball match 16 years ago.
They call it the Elias spread.
It's like Brooklyn Nine-Nine. We just pick people up and move them.
All right. Okay, so after Elias, we then go to Cal. Cal, armed with a drill. It's a laser drill, by the way, so it's not like a...
Okay. I guess I will attempt to kind of help anyone who needs it. So if there's somebody still being... Is the captain still... They're still like miners going after the captain, or...
Yeah. The ones at the rear of the horde seem to be going after Elias and Eric, but the ones at the front seem still fixated on Dolyug and Bastion. Bearing in mind that at this point Dolyug is on foot, and so is Trax. Yeah.
All right, I will do my best. I'll take out one of the miners with the drill. Try to anyway. Okay. Let's see. It's a ranged weapon. Right?
Nope, it's a melee weapon.
Nope. It's a melee weapon, so it's a mining drill. It's a melee range, right? That is 7.
All right. As you rush up to one of the miners and you swing around, this thing is actually a two-handed and quite unwieldy kind of thing to use. You kind of swing at it and you cut at him, but the laser, you don't sort of hang it on to a place long enough for the drill to really cut in. So there's a giant sear mark that appears over their chest, but it doesn't really cut through them.
Can I drop it at the end of my turn? Just.
Yep, easy,
Yeah.
and you...
Realizing it's unwieldy, just drop it, and I'll take out my pistol on the next turn.
All right, well, you can do that this turn. You draw out your pistol.
Oh, yeah, I'll do that as well. I thought it was a move action. I guess not.
Nope. Okay, Bastion.
I'm going to use a nice little thing called Walk the Void, and I'm just gonna I subconsciously do this. I just go over them. Like I use my mystical powers just to power across this little group of things happening. And I'm like, I don't fight, guys. I don't do this.
I'm better than this.
All right. Well, very gracefully you hover up, and then just like it's almost like a you know, the travelators at the airports. You sort of like go upwards and then I'm just calm as hell, not worrying about anything.
This is again why I deal with spaceships and not with planets.
All right. Okay, Dolyug.
What's Trax doing?
Let's see. Well, Trax is looking for your group to basically create enough of a distraction for him to sort of sneak around. He's also got his knife out and he's sort of looking at you.
I'm gonna pull out my knife.
Hey!
It would be like, charge! And I'm gonna charge at the one that Cal tried to get.
Okay, as you charge at him, make your attack.
That would be a 20, unnatural.
Ooh, very nice. That'll hit.
Very nice.
I don't have what's the damage of a combat knife again?
Yeah, D4.
Okay. 1.
1 damage.
Scathing.
Well, you deal 1 damage. Trax at this point, having waited for everyone to go, realizes that that you guys are a little bit out of your depth, and he looks behind him and sees the spider creature sort of digging around and rooting around, and he grabs hold of the big drill and begins to tinker with it. You're not quite sure what he's doing, but that's what he does for his whole turn.
Can I check what he's doing?
Engineering check.
All right. That would be a 15.
You've got no idea.
Okay.
Goblin technology is kind of like, for those of you who play Warhammer or understand the Warhammer lore, orcs are a bit weird because their stuff works just because they will it to. Goblin technology in Pathfinder kind of works in the same way. Like, you're not quite sure how they've made it work, but it's doing something. All right. So, first of all, 2 of these creatures attack Cal as they attempt to strike at his kinetic armor class. with analog picks. He completely misses. And he completely misses. As they swing, Cal's thick hide and armor basically either deflects the blow or he manages to sidestep it before it gets lands a solid, decent hit. 3 of them make their way after the Keen brothers, but being on the other side, they only get 1 attack each. So we're going to go with 2 attacks on Elias and 1 attack on Mr. Keen. Misses Elias. Critically hits Elias. That's okay, don't worry. Because these are analog weapons, here's what happens. That is a total of 7, 8, 9, 10 damage, which is reduced by 5 because you are wearing sci-fi armor.
Nice.
And archaic weapons don't really do that much against your things that resist explosions and bullets and stuff. It's like using a knife to kind of scratch a metal steel blastoid. Just doesn't really.
Got it.
So you've taken some damage. Arik, you are approached by a dude who has a drill bit. And he is going to try and penetrate you. And will absolutely miss. I am retiring this dice. I have not rolled higher than a 3 except on the natural 20. So
no, you can keep that dice. Of course, no, keep that dice.
I like that.
The change of luck will be soon.
Okay. One of the horde moves over to Dolyug and attempts to grab him. 15 plus 7, 22 versus your KAC plus 8.
That is 22.
Oh, okay. So it basically grabs hold of Dolyug as Dolyug sort of basically is being grappled by this thing. What do you say? Do you do anything?
And I try to shake him.
Just all right.
Get off of me!
Okay, Arik, it is your turn.
Yes,
behind.
I'm going to
I was
look
going
at
to say
my
behind you are the
brother.
3 dudes.
Yeah, absolutely. That's not my concern. My brother is my concern, so I'm going to look at him, and I'm going to signal an ally within 30 feet who's taken damage from a significant enemy at any point after my last turn. So that was the damage he took. And the ally regains, you regain 4 stamina points. Twice your envoy level, sorry, so it's 5 stamina points that you get back.
Exact
And
amount I took.
Do that once per turn. It's inspiring boost once per 10 minutes.
Cool.
That's
Nice.
a really good ability.
Yeah, so you'll be all right. Don't worry. It's just it's less than it looks.
Oh, you're right.
Oh, wow.
I never thought of it that way before.
Then I shout to everybody, duck. Ambeth, fly the ship over this blasted pathway and just flatten all these bloody zombies. And then I throw myself flat on my back.
I'll go flat on the back.
Okay, yep, Elias, your turn. You flatten your back.
And then I'll also try to kind of like stab him because I can.
Go on.
Alrighty, I'll use my trick attack, which I don't think will hit because it's only a 23.
Okay, yep, no, that does not hit as you basically go to and you fail the trick attack, your regular attack.
Just a normal stab. That one is that's a 22 for my normal attack.
That'll hit.
Alrighty, 3 damage.
3 damage. Okay, that one is slightly stabbed. As you know, more of the viney things sort of leak out from it. You sort of lie down flat on your back. Cal?
I will do the same. I will try to lay flat on my back. I won't try to do any.
Just go like stiff as a board and just go like.
Yeah, it just slowly tilts over.
For
Letting
Cal,
it take over.
yeah. For Cal and Bastion, do not forget that Dolyug is currently grappled and is unable to
I suppose before I do that, I should try and. Yeah, I should probably try and help him. I'm sorry, I forgot. I will use my Azimuth laser pistol and try and take a shot. Is there any negative for trying to shoot somebody who's the grappler?
Who's the grappler? There's a penalty to their AC if they're in a grapple, yeah.
Okay. 17.
That'll hit.
Okay, I get a grand total of 4 damage. Oh, I rolled max damage again. Woo.
Woo.
Okay,
All right, how much damage?
4.
4. So that is 5. And the one that's grappling Dolio goes down.
And then I just tilt back. Happy with what I've succeeded. This is my happy face.
Well, since we're in an asteroid, it'd just be like.
That's awesome. All right, and then I assume you get down on the ground.
Yeah.
All right, Bastion.
I like you more and more by the minute, Cal. And then I'm already floating, and I just lay on the ground, and I'm like, this is fine. I'm fine with this.
All right, so you sort of go from being upwards to sort of like, and very casually just kind of lie down. All right, as you do so, we then go to Doliug.
I'm gonna jump close to, not too close, but close-ish to Trax, just in case what he's making is a grenade.
Okay, you jump over to where Trax is. Trax finishes his particular weapon of choice, and you realize what it is very quickly. For those of you who are as old as I am, you might remember an old platform video game, or even perhaps the old TV series voiced by Homer Simpson, and that is, of course, the Earthworm Jim TV series and platform game. Jim had a very unique traveling method in the form of an incredibly large rocket, which is exactly what Trax has made, having destroyed the focal laser in the drill bit and allowing for all of the energy from the actual drill itself to be launched in a single incredible massive burst. He's actually done a little bit extra work and put in a couple of handles. Doliug, you're more than welcome to grab on if you like.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
It's going to be that dive grab.
All right. Trax sort of looks at you, and he sort of nods.
Where you go?
And he rolls a 19 on his dice roll as he pulls off and activates it, and literally just barreling through these things, screaming at the top of his lungs. Trax's lips have basically spread apart, showing his gums and his teeth. As he rockets forward. Could I get everyone who is lying on the ground to make a reflex save?
8.
We get bonuses or not?
You get a bonus +1, I'll say, because you guys kind of recognize the voice.
Natural 1.
Ooh!
6.
Can I spend a hero point? Do I even have one of those yet, or do I get those?
You don't have. Yeah, you don't have them yet, just yet.
Yes. I am. Okay, let's see how much I get fucked by this.
Uh-oh. I think I just.
So I get a.
So what do we get? A 1, a.
I got a 5.
A 5.
My reflex save.
Baz?
I got a 13.
Yeah, okay. So Baz and Eric, you kind of keep disciplined, and which not surprising, and you're just sort of like, no, better stay here.
No.
Meanwhile, curiosity gets the better of both Elias and Cal as they look up and are clocked in the head by this oncoming rocket, each of which taking 3 points of damage as the missile flies forward. As it does so, Doliug and Trax, could you make me reflex saves? As I'm giving myself the option. Huh?
That's a great roll.
What'd you get?
22.
22. All right. Well, Trax got an 11, which is just enough to actually make it. As the rocket ship flies this way, the Starswift moves through and just narrowly, like sparks, fly between you and where Trax is on the rocket from how close it was as it scrapes past. And you see the zombies basically get struck by the ship. As they do so, you see them sort of get basically grinded up against the side of the actual cavern wall. As they do so, the Starswift sort of rotates, leaving this huge scratching gash mark. There's lots of scraping metal sounds you see as the paint job sort of becomes like damaged as it turns. And as it does so, the Starswift is now facing towards the rest of you with its rear access near where that cavern was, where the spidery kind of creature was last. And as it sort of hovers in the air, one of the zombies seems to have kind of survived. It stands up, huge, hideous scar on one side. It has like these 2 drill bits, one in each hand. It's picked up 2 of the heavy ones, and it's got First Mate Grok written on the on his thing. And as he sort of clangs the metal things together, he roars, and the door to the Starswift opens, crushing him instantly.
Oh, so good.
Get on!
All right, you guys rush on as quickly as you can.
Embeth, immediately move us away from that entrance as fast as you can.
Right away, Captain. The autopilot takes you and begins to push you away back out as you guys all get into the bridge and into your varying positions.
Mr. Fell, get us out of here.
Hi, Captain. All right. Here we go.
I want you to take those guns, blast this asteroid to Kingdom Come as soon as within a safe distance. Mr. Doliag, I want you to scan the ship for any signs of any of those tentacle things or anything along those lines. Cal, do you have any experience with a phase armor shifting diffraction type of camouflage system?
That'd be just a regular physical science, right? Engineering.
Make a physical sciences check for the first bit.
Okay. I got a 22.
With a 22, you believe that you could, with the assistance of Doliag, reverse the actual polarity of the energy types that are used for your shielding in order to create some sort of phase destabilizer and allow for with the vines, how they stabilize the field, it would basically reverse them and make them destabilize it.
Yes, I believe I could reverse the effect. Should I get on that task?
Oh, I can see how you operate. Yes.
All right, making your way to the engineering room. You may make an engineering check to do that. Bastian, what do we get for the piloting check?
Going to be 21.
With a 21, the Starswift begins to rocket. Now, the Starswift has a very unique function, as it is a all-terrain adaptive vehicle. With the rocks caving in and around, you watch as your precious starship begins to shift and change form. Its beautiful hues suddenly change to more earthy and dirty kind of colors, and small square nodes kind of start appearing at various points. You watch as the landing gears, as the prongs that they are, make their way to the front of the ship to create a digger kind of drill bit. As you fly, the landing gears knock away and dislodge and basically dig out areas that are too small to fly through. With this in mind, your ship begins to channel and dig through the earth. You hear the sounds of the creature moving behind you, roaring angrily. Cal and Doliag, you're down in engineering. Doliag, what are you doing?
I'm trying to check if there's anything on the ship.
All right, so you need to activate the scanners on the bridge. So you rush over to the bridge.
I'm not going to do that, and I'm just going to try and help out Cal with what he's doing. He's in my room.
On my engineering check.
18. So Doliad, make an engineering check as well.
This is
Got a 19.
All right. So with a 20, the two of you managed to get the polarity just right. It's going to take you a little bit of time, but you're still working on it. But you have successfully determined, yeah, this will work. This absolutely will work. Elias, you're on the guns. Behind you, as you sort of pivot the turret back to see the rear of the ship, you can actually see the tendrils sort of digging and catching up It is a large creature. It is about as big, if not slightly bigger, than the Starswift.
All right. So what I do is I go in, I put some headphones, and then I hit a button on the side, and just a ocean sounds of waves crashing. Just kind of leans back, just kind of hums to himself. Oh, the time in the world. And then I say, "Sexy tiefling lady, if you could give me a countdown onto a safe distance." He just leans back, just focuses.
Of course, Mr. Keen. Counting down. You have 60 seconds till the next safe window. Arik, you are aboard the bridge. You sort of watch as Bastion is ducking in and out and trying to avoid the oncoming rocks as best he can. Your ship, impressive as it is definitely being slowed by the rocks. But without too much time, you figure that you might be able to navigate an easier path with an appropriate check. You may choose
that's
to.
Mr. Fell's duty. I have. I see that, but I trust him implicitly. Embeth, open a shipwide comm, please.
Certainly, Captain.
To the Elvish operative who's aboard my ship, I think we know what you and your companions are trying to do here. I would suggest that you reveal yourself, because if we find you, we will throw you out the nearest airlock. Come clean, and we will deal with you on an equitable basis.
Smart.
There appears to be no response.
Oh,
All right, we can wait.
They will play hide and seek.
As you continue, the rocking and shaking of the ship makes things difficult for pretty much everyone. Bastion, however, manages to hold it together as the Starswift bursts forth from the asteroid and begins to make distance. Embeth is counting down. As she is doing so, however, Elias, you can see threads reaching outwards like a spray from the asteroid. The last of them sort of grab onto like the rear end of the ship and entangle them. There's a sudden jerk as the ship comes to a stop, and it's met with resistance as the webs are pulling. Well, not pulling back, but resisting any forward acceleration.
Do I have a shot on the threads that won't hit the asteroid?
You do not.
Where's that inversion shielding, gentlemen?
The inversion shielding is activated. Make a computing check as you turn it on.
Okay. I got a 25. Ooh.
With a 25, it activates, and the shields turn on, and you watch as the webs spray outwards and wrap around the shield safely away from the ship. And pretty much like, it's like almost like just slips clean out as it makes its way away from the asteroid. You actually watch behind you as while the webs sort of drift away, this giant spider, about like at full extension, it can basically reach around both sides of this massive asteroid from the full length of its legs as it crawls up to try and get a better sight of you. It sort of still has this Cheshire cat kind of grin as it sort of opens its mouth, which separates down the middle and opens incredibly wide. And you watch as just sprays of this web just basically fly out to come towards you as well. A voice reaches over the comms. Master Elias, you have reached a suitable, safe range.
Mr. Doliak, watch our shields, please. I think we're going to take some damage.
Alrighty.
Up the earth to hide my soul, and without it, I feel so cold. Fire.
All right. As you do so, there is a from your ship's cannon. The round makes its way through space.
And as it's about to hit, I turn off my music.
What'd you roll for your attack?
Oh, sorry, I got 20.
Huh? 20. Okay. I was gonna say he rolls a natural one. There is a cacophonic explosion. There's this glowing white light that just erupts from the center of this asteroid, creating this almost like a disc of red meteors that just swing and fly in all different directions, including towards the ship. There's some turbulence as the shockwave begins to move towards you. Roll a piloting check, please, Bastion, as the meteors begin to spray from behind.
That's going to be 14.
All right, with a 14, the ship does take a few dings and rocks about as the big chunks of it seem to still kind of graze and scrape along the ship. But the shockwave dissipates. You see there's no sign of the creature anymore. As you kind of drift out, Arik, could you make a perception check for me, please?
No, I couldn't.
Very well. And you've got no one on the science officer station, so no one notices. But for our audience's sake, and because we are a playthrough narrative, unseen and unbeknownst to the crew, some manner of large black manta ray seems to peel off from the path that the Starswift is taking and head off in a different direction to the group who is heading back towards the Braxian fleet. As the quiet, for the first time in quite some time, begins to lull over the ship, everyone sighs in a moment of relief.
Cal just kind of goes over the comms. First of all, I would like to apologize. This situation was the first I've ever been in that was this confrontational. Second, I must admit to a feeling. For the first time in my existence, I feel confused.
I like him.
It appears
Welcome to the party.
even though that we were all so close to being destroyed at any moment, I feel like I would be okay with doing that again. Almost looking forward to it. It's quite odd.
Bastion, where'd you find this guy?
You know, I'm pretty sure that if I were to have a ship, I would want him on. This is pretty entertaining. Cal saved our butt 3 times in the span that we've known him. In the 2 seconds, this is great.
Am I the only one who's noticing that he's a homicidal maniac? He just said he wanted to go through that again.
I promise I'll feed him.
I promise I'll help take care of him too, just a little bit.
I promise nothing.
Oh, come on now, Eric. He's not all that bad.
Oh my goodness. I've actually been to jail and gotten my shit kicked in 24/7, and that was worse.
I will say that it's nice to meet all of you, but I do not know any of you particularly well. Perhaps we could become better acquainted over time.
That's
Right.
the best way of doing it.
Quick question for the GM.
Mm-hmm.
What's happened to my ship?
That is an excellent question. And for those of you who are following in the audience, Cal somehow made it back to the Starswift before the group did, from a ship that was trapped inside of a hidden chamber that was low in deep within the asteroid. They hadn't managed to save it or salvage it, and the ship was indeed destroyed. Scans show the wreckage of the Dela Milani in and amongst the asteroid pieces through cursory scans. But yes, alas, Bastion's time as the captain of his own ship was a short-lived one.
How exactly did you get back before us, Cal?
Cal, How did you?
Sorry, my apologies. I was typing a message.
Oh,
How did I get back? How did I get back? Actually, that was unbeknownst to me. We didn't go through that.
You were already there.
Oh, I was just already there.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. This is what we previously mentioned. I was already there. That is all I can remember.
all right. That doesn't sit well.
Yeah,
We're gonna-
it's super freaky.
Yeah,
Can
it's
I
a little
perform
weird.
some kind of like diagnostic since I can't
No,
remember?
it makes no. You remember it. You remember everything. You remember that you were part of the mining crew, that your task was to operate and help and offer, assistance in the operations. You were assigned to help on the off-ship team, and you were providing medical assistance. There was a calamity, and the ship sent out a message for all androids to go into stasis for security measures. The order came from another android, and you followed protocol. You were awoken by an android who sent you the message that I relayed to you, which whether or not you want to convey that to the group is entirely up to you.
I believe I will leave it secret for now.
Very well.
I've been
So,
driving this time.
all right. So what do you tell them?
I will tell them, well, I was left in stasis for security reasons when this security breach happened, and then I awoke. I came to and assisted as I could. And this, obviously, when I came across what was left of my captain and Captain Bastion here. Also, I noticed that they refer to another one of you as a captain as well. Arik, was it? Should I transfer my ownership over? I am very confused about this.
Yeah, I'm not a captain at this point in time, so
Actually, technically, by the order of the fleet, the ownership of the Dale Maloney was transferred to you before its destruction. You are a law-abiding captain underneath the fleet now.
I suppose that means he owns wreckage.
I was going to say, think about that answer, Mr. Fell, because if you claim to be the captain of the Della Milani, which, as Mr. Keene has pointed out, legally you are, shouldn't the captain have gone down with his ship? Or you could be the first officer of the Starswift, in which case then you would have no owners to go down with that ship at all.
Captain, I was just following orders, which meant me temporarily extracting ownership of that ship.
I thought
borrowing
you did it that way.
Yeah.
Cal,
Yes.
you are... Do you consider yourself sentient?
I am a learning computer, so I suppose somewhat. It is an odd thing to say. I have mainly been given basic tasks, nothing really complementing my processing abilities. So it is hard to say. Imagine me as a blank slate.
To give some insight to both the table and our audience as to how androids are handled in the Braxian setting, androids were constructed by the gnomes to perform very specific tasks. However, they were never enslaved. Ironically, Doliog's race, the Furblins, were an organic version of this experiment, and they were enslaved, but it was considered to be heinous and immoral, so the Furblins were allowed freedom and free reign. The androids, however, have similar freedoms. They are allowed at any point to stop service or to go and do other things, but they have an inherent desire to remain such. They are recognized by the Braxian fleet as sentient, although there are many who disagree with this simply because of their nature and their behavior. They do not seem to be as passionate or emotive as many would believe, unless, of course, they have been built to simulate, much like the artificial intelligences of the ships, to simulate another race. Like if the dwarves, for example, made a dwarf, if there was a dwarven android, it would be to talk to the dwarves on behalf of the gnomes, and it might be very dwarvish in nature. That kind of thing.
Let's lay off on the ideas of what is going on until we understand you better, Cal. You say you're a learning machine. That could be very useful to us. But technically, I suppose you would still be required to report to the Dwarvish Consortium. I'm not sure, actually. Yes, Mr. Keene.
It's not nice and dandy, but I think we should go through the extensive quarantine protocol on our visage back.
I couldn't agree with you more. Mr. Zagutu, I think we need to do a complete diagnostic of this ship. We need to check it from stem to stern. I'm worried there was that operative that was released by Mr. Trax. Where is Mr. Trax?
Sort of sneaking out the back of the bridge. You see this goblin like freeze in his place.
I go to pull my pistol, realize that I don't have one. So,
Ha Up yours! Oh, sorry.
Trax, come on. We made a deal. You're
He
alive.
shot me!
Yeah.
And then suffocated me!
I'm here. You're
And
not
then-
going to get hurt that much.
And then he threw me off a cliff!
I mean, but you're alive, right?
I thank my mum for giving me such a thick head.
you are
Bloody
the
hell.
only survivor of the Della Milani now.
Yeah, with a rescue team like yours, I'm not surprised.
Ow, pumpernickel.
What?
What?
You're all infected! I knew it! If you recall,
That was your code, wasn't it?
Oh god, we did have one.
none of you said scallywag. I'm saying something.
I have it written right here.
True. You've all failed.
It's just written.
All right. Yep, so Trax is kind of like in that moment where he's realizing he lived. Oh god, he lived.
I suggest you report to the medical infirmary where MBOT 7 will look at you to try and repair some of the damage that you've taken. However, please do not feel that you are free to wander about this vessel. Once you are finished with MBOT 7, you'll be confined to quarters until we can decide what to do with you. Mr. Keene, please make sure that he gets there.
Right. I'll head over.
He sort of walks over with you, looks up to Elias and says, "What a dick."
Oh, you have no idea.
Before he leaves, I tell Trax, and she's alive and probably on board the ship.
He sort of chokes back a tear, and he nods. And he he seems to be a little bit more grateful for his rescue.
Yeah.
All right. With that, Bastion waits for the captain's command. Where would you like to head, Captain? Would you like to head back to the Braxian fleet? Would you like to set a course for Admiral Olaf Neldararen's ship? Or do you have somewhere else you'd like to go?
Not. Get us to within a green zone of the fleet just in case they do try and jump. We'll get the broadcasters to the coordinates, but don't take us anywhere near anyone else until we've had a discussion. We've got a lot to talk about as a crew. This is not a single man's decision that we need to make, Mr. Fell.
All right. As the ship's engines whir to life, the Starswift begins its intrepid journey back into the safe area of the green zone. And with that, this concludes the first chapter of the Starswift Chronicles. As the ship veers out, Baz, as you're piloting away, you sort of search your pockets and hold up what appears to be a small vial containing a sliver of blood lithelium.
I put it away and hold up for Dog to be around.
And thank you very much, guys. That we will continue the adventures of the Chronicles of the Starswift next season when we obviously find out what happens to their reward and go on our next big epic journey with, of course, our new science. Well, at least we hope our new science officer, Cal. If you guys are hanging around for the little post talk, then we'll see you then. Otherwise, thank you very much for joining us. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you want to see more shows and more stuff like this, of course, and we'll just go straight into it. All right. So, woo! Season 1. You're alive. Everyone's alive. It's so good.
We made it out.
It's so nice to see a campaign fueled by failure. It really is.
I was actually more glad that you guys like sort of fell into place for the finale bit. You know, like from the start, from episode 1, I was like really worried at that point when they're like, we're going to separate. We're going to go this way. We're going to go that way. We're going to go this way. We're going to go that way. Of course, spearheaded once again by Guy.
Genius.
I do love I love it though, because the thing is Guy is the one person on Earth I can't criticize for doing that, because I used to do it to him all the time. So as much as it pains me, I'm like, damn it, I used to do the same thing. As many might remember for like Aunt Nebuchadnezzar, who decided to go wandering on her own, and a few other scenarios. So yeah, but no, I had a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this season. Let's hear what some of the other players thought. Let's start, of course, with our newest member, because this is his first impression to the group. Are we seeing you next season, or is this it? You're just like, no, I'm done. These guys.
You're definitely seeing me. I had such a fun time in this session. It was very enjoyable. You are all a treat. Characters and players all in one big bind. I loved the finale for this season. It was perfect, and I just love the action piece right at the end. It's something cathartic about I guess kind of like an escape with so many like little bits on the end. We were never really out of the clutches. There was always something else. It's always something stacking up, and that was great. I also really like the character interactions. It was just a fun, like a complete joy to listen to.
Nice. All right. Bastion, or Bon, should I say?
Yeah, that was really surprising to be captain of a ship for a second there. I was like, wait, I'm sorry. What is going on here?
True power.
I got a free bottle of really old scotch and a ship. Okay, all right.
Oh, you still have that bottle, by the way. And the other thing I was thinking, I was almost thinking to myself, I wish that Bass had a moment where as soon as he got pronounced captain, he would go, "Hang on a second. Yeah, Ma, it happened.
It's real. Oh, there was a moment where I was like, should I just take a shot right now? And then I was like, I literally can't take a drink of this right now because the ship's still moving and I still got to do something about this.
Yes, no, that's actually true.
Yeah, like, is it also possible, because once I heard the gun, I never got to say it, but I wanted to take the gun that was in the side pocket, the captain's gun.
Oh, right. Yeah, totally. I have no problem with that. The gun is I'll feed you the details of the gun later, but it's actually kind of a unique gun, so I'll tell you what it does later. Yeah, no, I had a lot of fun. I thought Bastion was probably in the most precarious situation compared to everyone else. Obviously in the falling ship, and with Cal obviously in tow, came at a good time, which is really good.
Saving my butt, like, so much. Yeah. And like the whole entire time I'm also worrying about Daliug and Trax and going, yeah, so this poor guy wants to save this girl. We have no idea who this girl is. The ship's falling apart. A captain that's been murdered. What is going on right now? Oh my gosh, I'm so confused.
Daliug.
I enjoyed that quite a bit. Plus, one of the things that I do every once in a while, which I got to do in this, and I thought I would never do this, but it's a bad habit. Whenever I have a bad idea, I roll, and then I give it a general number, and I'm like, oh, this is a really bad idea, but I really want to do it. Dice, let me. And then it did. And I was really, because I'm like, as a person, I'm like, well, Daliug would continue, but he would also do this, and it's like that middle part where I'm like, I could do either. Like, it's totally worth doing either. I'm gonna let the dice decide. It's not my fault. Don't blame me. So I enjoyed that bit to be able to do that. Plus, wasn't sure how much we were sticking to that little plot thing, because I remember earlier we were going off from our original flash forward.
Oh yeah, you were nowhere near your flash forward for so long. I think I spent the last 4 episodes trying to figure out how to get you back on track.
So I wasn't sure whether Trax was going to come back, and I have an attachment to knife fighting with Trax. So it was a really fun episode.
I honestly thought Doliog was determined to say, okay, let's see if Michael can figure out what happens if I put Trax in stasis. Yeah, what are you going to do now? Screw your episode 1. And I was like, oh yeah?
You can't run away from me.
No, it was good. I love Doliog. Doliog is really funny. I love how very quickly he throws people under the bus, but at the same time, like, calls for help in desperate times.
Yeah!
Rules only apply to him and him alone.
Yeah.
All right, Josh, how do we go?
All right, that's about what I expect for a low-level group handling a threat, which is basically kind of slapping a boulder and just seeing what happens. And then it turns out that the boulder's a stick of dynamite.
Yep.
It's lots of chaos. Everyone just trying. It's one of the nice things about low level is that you have to be so creative to solve things because you can't solve anything.
I think that was definitely something in abundance. You guys were very creative about every situation you went into. Sometimes I was sitting there thinking, like, where's the catharsis of you killing like these zombies who have, like, no weapons and no armor and stuff like that. It's like, I thought that you guys were just going to cut swaths through them and be like, yeah! But, like, no, it's just like, nope. We have pressing matters to attend to. No time for you, silly battle.
There is a thing over there.
Yeah.
Whatever.
There's a giant monster. Can I jump over it? I'm going to jump over it. We're just going to avoid it.
That's true. Actually, one of my favorite moments from this season in total was was episode 1 that when you were fighting the Electrovore and trying to get past it without fighting it. I thought that was another example of that really amazing kind of like, well, yeah, you could fight it and just go into I hit it, it hits me, I hit it, it hits me, but you kind of turned it into this almost like this cinematic encounter where you were just ducking and diving and trying to get past it. So that was awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, it's great because we're weenies and we can't do anything.
It's like, it doesn't matter how many times we hit this thing. It's definitely not going to die. So the best thing to do is try to make sure we don't die when we're around it.
Fair enough. And of course, Master Guy, how did we feel?
I thought it was a great conclusion to the adventure. We've got lots of questions left, and he's definitely half the size that I am because he keeps jumping to conclusions when he's got very little information. So he's got a current conspiracy theory, and let me just tell you that there's a certain Captain Rabambambog, if you remember him, and he may be getting a call from us, as a matter of fact. Because I've now got a conspiracy theory about this whole thing, which does not rely in any way, shape, or form on the information that Trax actually has. So Arik is going off on this thing to do that. But I think the crew performed phenomenally well. And I think the funniest thing is that Arik kind of throws out orders all the time, whether they're right or they're wrong. He just kind of gives orders to go and do stuff. And most of the time, the crew actually do it, even though it might not necessarily be the smartest thing to do, except when they don't do it. And the funniest thing is that's usually when things go wrong, which I find quite amusing. It usually leads to more information and more stories, right? So I thought it was absolutely lovely. I love Doliog's sort of dedication to trying to find tracks. I thought that was wonderful. There was just this, I will not give in, I will not surrender to losing this thing in the void. I thought that was magic.
I like pulling you out of the zombies. That was awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, that was super cool, right? So it was just a lot of fun, absolutely a lot of fun. And I think the next time that we get back into the Windswift, there's going to be some serious discussions going on because
I mean, the Starswift?
He definitely does not have all the pieces, but he's made up his mind as to what he's going to do. But hopefully we know more. Hopefully our new companion, Kel, will be able to shed some light on our predicament. one way or another.
And I am going to reveal this, and I do apologize, Cal, if this was supposed to be a secret, but this is one of those things that I think some secrets are really great, and I think they further the narrative and further the story, and some secrets I think just get forgotten very quickly. So the secret I wish to reveal in this case was that that cowl that you found that was on the other side near the Starswift, for those of you who may not necessarily have pieced it together, isn't actually the cowl that Bastian had met aboard the Della Milani.
Oh.
So this is one of those revelation type things. Now, your characters don't necessarily know about it or don't suspect it, but I don't think it makes it relevant in the sense that this cowl is the one that did help you get through the zombies and do all that sort of stuff. But I know that there's going to be a lot of questions regarding it, and the thing is that there is a whole other implication about the cowls, as it were, and who the first one was. And there's a whole story between this cowl and that cowl and the other ones that are like him and stuff like that, which we're going to keep secret. We're going to keep that under wraps. But just so that, obviously our audience can know and that you guys can know before it falls into the wayside of what I think turns into like the narrative black hole and people just kind of...
Right.
Oh,
well,
that's right.
Elias did ask, how did he get onto the ship?
Mm.
And we got the answer of how he got onto the Della Milani, not how he got onto the Windswift.
Mm.
So that's...
Well, the important thing is we should count our cows.
Yeah, always count your count. Make sure you've got like a stamp and you just... All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us for this season. I loved every bit of it, and I hope you guys did too. Again, if you want to check out some really awesome shows, not only is the Chronicles of the Starswift going to be here, living on the Bacon Battalion channel, but we also have the Adventures of the Starswift, which is being run by Master Guy as well. So definitely be sure to check that out. If you love this show, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and go visit everyone on their pages and stuff in the description below. And till next time, guys, from us at the Starswift, make sure that you and yours keep your dice rolling and make sure your ideas stay mind-worm free. Have a good one, guys.
Hey!
See ya.